much more than life, take advantage. We gon' get this money, stack this paper, and be alright. We gon' run it, keep on business on sight. I go out for my squad and I put that on squad. All I got is my word and my word is my bond. Squad. Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you moving forward. But just stick to the code, you get yours, I get mine. Squad.
I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to...
Larry, we are in the place the folks here call the Jungle, and that's Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals. This is taken near the 13. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And I think it's safe to say that, and I heard him say it in the post-game press conference, that was a team win last week because he didn't really play up to his normal standards, throwing 2 interceptions.
No touchdown.
Yeah, didn't offset it at all, but the team found a way to get it done.
A gain of 3, second down. And here's the offensive unit, and we highlight a very good guy, A.J. Green.
Let's just make it simple. He's a game breaker.
Seven yards to go on second down.
Check, tight right. Go out there, check the outs out there. The hut, Lanny! Four down.
To throw, Cousins. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And we peek at the defense now for Philadelphia.
I'm going to take a good, strong look at the veteran presence in the secondary. That is Malcolm Jenkins. Starts at safety, plays cornerback when they go into their nickel sets. He can move inside and cover the slot receivers. He's also a guy who knows how to turn the football around when he picks it off. 3 interceptions in 2016, 2 of them returned for touchdowns.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, here's Cousins. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Looking a little bit like a continuation of last week. He had 3 tackles for a loss, and now 1 more here in the first quarter of this game.
And there's been no lack of force by him, taking on the offensive linemen, playing them, but also there's a suddenness to his game. They have that initial contact, and then he's gone, moving upfield and making those plays in the backfield.
It's a big body moving upfield, too. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback. that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Here we go with 2nd and 7.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. So on comes Cairo Santos now for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And Santos. To put this one up and through, it's good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. And the first 3 points of the night belong to our home team as they get the field goal on the game's initial drive.
A good, solid drive. It didn't wind up in the end zone, but that's okay. You've got something positive on the board, and you got the early lead.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. Just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards.
Double tight, guys. Double tight.
Now Wentz on the bootleg. Escaping the pressure right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Wentz can pull it down when he needs to, and the 6'5" quarterback picks up the first down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
To throw is Wentz. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps. And cuts towards the middle of the field, and now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Wentz now on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Raekwon McMillan coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football.
This is caught inside the 15. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
This will be fielded at the 6. And some room to roam now. And he'll weave his way up, all the way up, a few yards shy of midfield.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. David Irving coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
Let's see if they do that.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
3rd and long for Cousins. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. David Irving able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. They were trying to set up that screen, try to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
Ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2 as they'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. Well, they tried the field goal from just inside of 70 yards. It missed, and now this offense set up nicely at midfield. Here's Ajayi, and he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Now, that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now it's Ajayi. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
This is Ajayi. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. From the red zone now, Wentz. They set up the screen to Ajayi, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. The 1st down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. The quick slant caught, and he's brought down. An Eagle 1st down. Wentz hooking up with Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey so dangerous even when a defender's near him.
He's got such a big body, ability to run, positions himself well, excellent control. And you're exactly right. Even if people are draped on him, he often comes up with...
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Flush. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Geno Atkins in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to kick points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Cousins now on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's brought down. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Cousins. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Now the Bengals on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. When halftime rolls around in just a bit, we'll send you to Orlando. You will hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Larry Ridley with our EA Sports halftime report.
Does dulcet mean good?
Yeah, it's just something that broadcasters say. It's got to be good, right?
It's got to be good.
You tell me.
Well, it's got to be good if Larry's doing it.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's a second missed field goal here in this first half. He'll have to think about that going forward. Maybe time for a little soul-searching as well.
Yeah, the head coach might be looking towards the heavens because you wonder if this will affect the 4th down decision-making going forward. If you get 4th and 3, 4th and 4, situations that used to be calls for the kicker might get a second thought.
And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Wentz now on first down. And this is caught at the 8. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
So, all right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On first 1st and 10. Here's Wentz. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back? Essentially being a receiver downfield.
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough test.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Elliott now to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Brandon Graham in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This will be fielded at the 17. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. And out now come the Eagles. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They run again with Ajayi. Oh, what a move. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They run with Ajayi. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
They run the counter now on first down. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Second down following the run.
Hey, we've got tight left. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Dancing to his left. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the first.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. He's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's just kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him.
And that goes for a gain of 31.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Now Wentz. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown.
You having fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Elliott now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. A big hit. Knocked down sideways. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On the left side, it's McDonald. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. And now a first down following that long gain.
Watch left. Watch left. Tight end to the left. Tight end left.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Gotta get the point. Get on the point right here. Watch 82.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it. And some room to work. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now a toss play. It's Ajayi. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead. 4 yards remaining now on 2nd down.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. Ajayi, a first down and more. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jay Ajayi, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Eagles take advantage of good field position on the turnover to cash this one in. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And his kick is good. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And out now, here come the Bengals. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Someone moved. Flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards.
And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 2nd down.
Second down, Cousins. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trent Taylor, the one he was looking for, and it's 3rd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete.
While we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a
Throwing on first is Wentz. His throw incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
They fake the give. Now Wentz under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Raekwon McMillan in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Working from the gun, Wentz. Hard throw, incomplete.
And the defense almost got one there, partner.
That could have been his first pick. He's been good so far, but you're right, that was nearly a costly mistake.
Sometimes you get a little bit too confident when the game's going along as it has been for him.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't... it all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he finds McDonald. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
The intended receiver, Josh Reynolds. And that'll bring up second down.
You know, every time we talk with people about the most important quality for a quarterback to have in the NFL, what do they usually cite?
Arm strength.
Yeah, and that's really way down on the list. Accuracy is one of the bigger ones, maybe the foremost one. That's what he needed on that play.
A second down throw for Cousins. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They'll throw again. Cousins going right side here, and that's complete. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A good pickup there of 20 yards. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 16. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
They'll begin the drive with a Ajayi. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Now wins. Jeffrey breaking the tackle. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
On first down, Wentz. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Two times. Here we go.
Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Shotgun now for Wentz. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
And they just hit another big completion there, and I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Philadelphia, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they'll drop down to 1-3. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week as they return to action in Week 6. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Cincinnati, good night, everybody.
Like the way it sounds, Frody? Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fire like dragon. Man, I'm flying past Saturn. Out of here like I ain't that savage. Two. It's like I'm at the studio with Michael. You can hear me dancing on the beat. Bam, about to put a mansion on the beach. 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that my mommy. I will never give my heart to a I can just make a dance that goes with this song. Then I'ma be on. Basic, gon' dance to it. Basic, everywhere, gon' dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, all in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that.